Alrighty, so now we are on episode 7 of Big Brother 23, which was the second eviction and the second HOH. So there was a lot of stuff going on, right?
Third, technically third.
Third HOH?
Yeah,
You're right.
Frenchie,
You're right.
and then now third.
You're right. Yeah, we're going into the yep. Second eviction, third HOH. So yes.
All right. So the episode starts off right as veto nomination ceremony is done, and we see Frenchie decide that he's going to campaign to stay. So he's going around again, seeing typical Frenchie, making deal to everybody, making all these promises, and nobody is believing him. And I think the only person in the whole house that believes he has a shot at staying is Frenchie himself.
Yeah, and like his pitch, I mean, like it was a standard one. That was not impressive. Like it was just talking about how he is going to be a bigger target than the rest of the people, and it's like, yes, it's true, but at the end of the day, like I think people were just ready for him to go. It was like they would much rather him go than have him stay and then him be the constant target, because then that would just kind of become kind of boring, I guess, and predictable. And I think that this cast definitely wants to kind of make big moves, and I don't think that they would just be like, okay, you know what, let's keep them to be safe. Like that's not the kind of cast that they are this season, so it wasn't gonna work.
So I'm going to go back and backtrack a little bit to what Shani said last episode. He would have been perfect for a different type of cast, but this cast is here to play. They want to play differently, and it just didn't work for him. He played too hard, and when he tried to save himself, it just didn't work for him. I honestly, in my opinion, I was ready for him to go. He was creepy. He tried to manipulate the whole house, control the whole house, and it just.
I do want to ask, because, and I wanted to ask last time when we were with Shani, but I did hear you say a few times that you thought he was creepy, and I meant to ask. I just forgot to ask you, like, why is he creepy? Like, I'm just curious.
He's creepy because I from what I saw on they don't really put it much on the actual show, but from the live shows, he stands there and he just stares at you. Like he's trying to like intimidate people to try to get him to talk to him, and he's just creepy, and he walks around the house all slowly and try to like pay attention to everything that's going on. It comes off really creepy.
I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I can see what you mean. I just thought more of it as like a paranoid person, which I mean, I guess that makes sense. If you're a paranoid person, sometimes you come off creepy. It makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
It also makes sense for CBS not want to put that on the episodes because it does come off creepy.
Right. I mean, there was little pieces of it that they would put, but it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't get the creepy vibe from the episodes, but I can see what you mean though. Like where he would just kind of lurk and then kind of try to listen in on people like constantly, and I see what you mean. So yeah, I mean, honestly though, like I always watch these shows, especially Big Brother, and unless someone does something very like evil, I'm like, okay, I don't like this person, they need to go. With Frenchie, he wasn't an evil person. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a good person overall. He has a lot of stuff going for him. Just his gameplay sucked. That's all. I like, you know what I mean? Because I've seen online where people post things, you know, like, oh, I'm so ready for Frenchie to go. I hate him. And I'm like, God, hate is such a strong word for someone that literally really didn't do anything personal. But I mean, everyone's entitled to their feelings and opinions. But to me, I don't think of him as like someone I hate. I just think that it's someone that wasn't playing the best game ever. Had he played a different game, maybe he would have been like, he's a likable guy. I think he's just, his gameplay just wasn't good this season and it sucked, but that was it, you know?
Right. And I wouldn't say as far as going and saying that I hate him, because like you said, it is a strong word.
Right.
He was just, like you said, he played too hard. It wasn't his best. This wasn't his season. His gameplay sucked. Did I dislike him for the way he treated some people and what he did? Yeah, but I don't hate him. I
gotcha. Yeah. So I mean, so then the speeches were good, I think. Well, is there something in between the veto? Because I mean, okay, so there was Frenchie that did his little campaigning for a little bit, and then what else was discussed? Oh, I think something about Brent trying to get a girl out or something like that.
Right. So right before that, something that I want to touch base because I kind of enjoyed it a lot. They showed Kyland and Sarah Beth kind of have one of those moments that
yeah.
Shani was talking about, and I can see it. I even wrote it down. I forgot that Sarah Beth is in a relationship. I really did forget when
with
I
a
wrote this
girl.
down, but I was like, yeah, and I was like, are they trying to form a showmance? Because it looks like it. The way they're like cuddled in the bed, he's like doing all these cuddly things with her. So it looks kind of like a showmance, you know.
Right.
Which do we want them to do that? Because Sarah Beth is my favorite. Kyland is your favorite. They're doing showmancy things. Like they're gonna put a target on their back.
Right. I don't know. I honestly don't see it. I think. I mean, I don't know if it's just me secretly wishing that Kylan is like low-key more into guys than girls. I don't know. And then I'm assuming that Sarah is just more into girls than she is with guys. But because they're both so like interested in different types of people, they become more comfortable with each other because they know that it's nothing but platonic, pretty much. Like they can cuddle with each other, they can get really close and intimate friend-wise because they know that they're both interested in something else. I don't know if that's just maybe the reason why, because I mean, I don't know if you've had like your girlfriends who are your girlfriends, you know what I mean? Like, and you kind of feel more comfortable with them because you know that there's no like sexual chemistry there. So you kind of are able to kind of become more intimate with them without the pressure of that sexual intimacy, if that makes any sense.
I mean, I guess I could see where you're coming. Have I ever experienced it? I'm going to say no. To me, it still looked like something was sparking there.
I don't know. I just think that they're really close to each other. I think that it might be the edit. It might just be a one-off because people, I mean, especially like you're in like house, like people are gonna get close to each other and they're gonna lay next to each other. It's not like a big deal to me, I don't think. But
well, who knows? Because Shani said that you could see a lot more in the live feeds, which I haven't seen, but apparently she had already seen it.
Right.
So I don't know. I like it. It looked cute. It was a cute moment. However, long-term game-wise, I don't know if that's the best thing to see your favorites do.
And even if they do, I think they're gonna keep it low-key. I think they're both really strong in general, but they're smarter than that. Like, even though it's weird because like they're both like so close to each other, but I feel like everybody else is kind of like, it's kind of like at this point, as of right now, it feels like it's the Kylan and Sarah Beth show. I could be wrong, but that's just the vibe I get. Like, I feel like everybody loves them. Nobody's really looking into them right now. And I just feel like everybody loves them. Maybe.
Well, let's move a little bit further because after that happens, Kylan starts talking. He does like a confessional, or I believe he's talking to somebody. I do not remember who he's talking to, but he mentions that the Slaughterhouse Alliance that Friendship built is done. Like it does no longer it means nothing. With that being said, I'll go into Brent, and Brent is now targeting girls because he's aware that 2 guys have now gone and the girls are going to become powerful, so he's targeting girls. And unfortunately, one of those names is Sarah Beth.
Right. I mean, at least according to him, though. I don't know. Brent he's good. I just don't think that he's at that caliber where he can actually make that call. I don't think that, you know, just by looking at people and just looking at the episodes, like if there's like an influence chart, I don't think he has that much influence yet. So like even if he suggests that to some people, they're not going to buy it. They're just going to be like, maybe eventually, but not right now, kind of thing. I'm like, I think that's what he mentioned, but that he wants to eventually get rid of like Sarah and I think Tiffany,
yes.
Right.
And then whenever he's talking to that about that, he's talking to Whitney and Christian about it, and Christian then gets shown into a confessional where he's like, I'm telling Brent what he wants to hear, but in reality, I'm not going to go for it. So you might be right. He doesn't have the influence yet, but it's still very concerning that he's targeting some of the top girls.
It might also be just because, I don't know, I really can't read Brent to that point yet, but it might also be because maybe Sarah, I mean, It seems like Brent likes to have that charm on his side where if he talks to a girl, they kind of come to him in a way. And I feel that because Sarah's like on the opposite end of all of that, he's like thinking that that's his biggest target, because if there's anybody in the house that wouldn't fall for his charm, it would probably be Sarah Beth. Just because, she's in a relationship. She's, I guess from what she's into girls, or she's at least with a girl. And if anything, she would probably gravitate towards Kai. So like, I just don't think that Brent feels that he can kind of sway her. And maybe that's why he feels threatened by her.
Probably.
So, yeah.
So during that same conversation, Kylan then comes up to a high gear, and he starts trying to get people to start noticing Brent and Whitney as a duo, and he tries to convince people to go after them next week, whoever becomes HOH.
Right.
Which, spoiler alert, we know who wins HOH.
Right.
Do I think the HOH is gonna follow his? I think so.
You think so?
I think so, because let's just put it out there. Winner of HOH is Xavier. And Xavier happens to be in that famous Cookout Alliance where they.
Right. So quick little shout out to Shani if you see this episode. Congrats, you guessed it right. It was Xavier.
Yeah.
From our predictions all the time. So yeah. I don't know. I mean, do you think that Cookout Alliance is still strong though? I haven't really seen them talk too much. I feel like they're just kind of like, this is like one of those secret alliances. Like, I don't really see them mingling with each other like a lot. I don't know if that was your strategy. I think it was, but I mean, even if that's their strategy, like they should still have like some little moments within the day at least to kind of debrief each other, like, hey, like what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, but I haven't really seen them.
Maybe. Who knows? We haven't been watching the live feeds, and maybe they have. It just hasn't been edited because nothing relating to the cookout has happened in the episodes.
True. That can be, yeah, that's true. So, I mean, it might be like in the background and we just haven't seen it yet. I probably should watch a little bit just to see, but I just don't see Kylan and Xavier as like two guys that can work well with each other. Like, I could be wrong, but I think that even Kai mentioned that him and Derek X are solid. He mentioned that, and when I said, I was like, of course they are. Like, and he literally explained everything that we had talked about a few episodes ago about how like Derek has been kind of doing like all of these things for Kai to make him know that they're together, like working together. And Kai mentioned that, and I'm like, yeah, it's because they're solid, like they're solid AF pretty much. And I don't think that Kylan is as solid with Xavier at all. If you think about it, they're both kind of like alpha male-ish. Like, if they're in the same alliance together, they're both going to want to control. Kylan might go along with him this week because Xavier is in power, but I don't think Xavier is going to do whatever Kylan wants him to do.
Right.
Unless I'm not seeing something, but they're both like very high strung, so I think they both want to make their own decisions.
I don't know. I think that the reason I say this is because Kylan is good with Derek X. And that's two people that want to target the same people. So who knows? They might come together and try to persuade Xavier. It's a long shot, but it could happen.
Yeah, I guess you're right, because now that I think about it, like Xavier's not going to go for Christian. He's obviously not going to go for Alyssa. He's obviously not going to go for Sarah Beth. He's not going to go for Kai, Tiffany, Derek, F. Probably not Derek X. So he's really cutting it down to, yeah, you're right. He is cutting it down to like Whitney and Brent, now that I think about it. Those are the only two that I think are left but he wouldn't target Claire either. I don't see him targeting Claire because Claire's just like super low key. So you know what? You're right. I don't see him targeting Hannah either. Hannah's been super low key.
So he could easily be persuaded.
True. But you know what? Now that I think about it, you're right. I think he would go for Brittany. For Brent. Well, Brittany, that would be like their showman's name. Because it's Brent and Whitney. Brittany. Although now that I think about it, I do think Britney's a potential target now. Okay, this is gonna be kind of messed up for Britney, but I think that she might fall into the pawn status. Like she might be put up again against like maybe like Whitney, and then try to backdoor Brent.
So I don't really like to bring up more of the live feeds because we're talking
Right.
about this episode.
Right.
But I do see something in the live feeds. While the knobs haven't been released or nobody really knows who the noms, we don't even know if nom ceremony has even happened yet, which I'm
Right.
assuming should have happened sometime today.
Right.
But I know they played a comp today.
Mm-hmm. It was a wild card.
I think so. And I think I know who wins. I'm not going to say the name because I'm not 100% sure. I can make a prediction. Prediction is that Tiffany won the Wild Cup.
Okay.
And Brittany got to play, and they all ganged up on Brittany. So I don't know what exactly is because she was having another meltdown in a room because everybody ganged up on her during this camp.
I mean, I feel for her, but at the same time, it's like you have to be stronger than that. I mean, it's hard when you, especially if like, in this case, we're giving commentary about like people and stuff, and it's like you don't want to sound harsh, but at the same time, it's like you're playing a game, like you have to be stronger than this. Like people will get nominated. Like if everybody cried every time they got nominated, the game would never end because they would just be full of people crying. Like it just, it's okay, you air it out a little bit, like just get into your feelings for a little bit, but don't go around with your little cloud of sadness and make everybody else sad. Like just deal with it, process it, and move on. It's a game. Like that's literally what it is. And I feel like
literally, this is why I don't apply for Big Brother.
I mean, it is like, again, like me saying this, it probably does come off harsh, and I'm not trying to be harsh because I mean I have feelings too. Everybody has feelings. I'm not saying your feelings are not valid. It's more like just move on. Like we have to move forward. Like, and she has the potential. I mean, like last time she was like, I'm gonna go in there and play veto, and I'm gonna win this, and I got this. And like that's the kind of attitude you should have. And maybe she needs to cry first before she gets there, but it's gonna get tiring, and it's gonna make her a target. Just being straight up. Like if she's doing it again, people are gonna be like, this girl, like, it's just becoming a burden now, and they're gonna see it, and it's like, sorry, girl. I mean, they live with you. They don't want to have to deal with that every single time.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I don't exactly know what happened during this comp. From what I heard, they were all mad because they ganged up. She was mad, and the people she was talking to were mad that they ganged up on her. So I guess we're yet to see it. So, but you're right. After a while, they're gonna start seeing it. They're gonna get tired of it, and she's gonna become more of a target. She's making herself a target right now.
Yep. And I guess maybe it's more in the sense of, for her sake, in the game, it's better for her to keep herself in check because, like for example, like when after veto was played, she didn't break down again. She said, okay, you know what, I have to lay low to make sure that Frenchie goes. That's the mentality that she should have, even if she gets nominated, instead of just going and crying. If she was being targeted or picked on by everybody, okay, that's not fair. I can see that, and okay, that's valid, and that's not cool. But if she gets put up on the block again, let's say, the next episode, drop it.
I don't really think so. I don't think she's going to be on the block.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I think right now, if we just make quick predictions, I think it's either Brant, Whitney, or Brittany. Those are the three that I can think of that would probably be the one up on the block.
I'm going to make my strong prediction to be it's going to be Brant and Whitney.
That's way more confident
than mine.
I
feel like you're right. Brittany still has a potential. I feel like if veto gets used or anything, then it will be Brittany.
It would be her.
Or any type of any of those combinations. It's what it's probably going to be.
I'm excited for this season though, because I mean, just by looking at the names and like the people, like after like, let's say Brittany goes, I don't know, it's kind of hard because like, let's say that they get rid of Brent, then who's the next target? Is it Brittany? Are they gonna start flipping on each other? Like, because there's no big alliance here, like a strong one that's controlling everything. It's kind of hard to really say like, where is this gonna go? Because for example, like Kylan won last week. It wasn't like he was going to the cookout to say, hey, who are we gonna target so that way we can regain the majority. It was more on, what are we as a whole gonna do to get rid of the common target? And then now Xavier is HOH. I don't think he's like thinking, okay, I have to think of what the cookout's gonna theme that's gonna make us go further. He's thinking what's gonna be better for the house.
Mhm.
And it's a okay-ish strategy. Like it's interesting for us, but I'm just like, every week is just gonna be like a question mark of not knowing where the power is gonna go and then who's gonna be out, which makes it
As
a
of
good
right
season.
now.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
So moving a little bit further down from where we're
Mhm.
at,
Yeah.
nothing really too much of the ordinary comes. It's a whole bunch of just basic episode. Then we go
Right.
into the speeches. I don't
Mhm.
really remember Frenchie's speech
Right.
because I was just ready for him to go. However, Brittany's rap that she just did, I knew it was coming because I saw the live feeds and I saw her practicing over and over and over and over. But it was a
Yeah.
lot. It was too extra. It was too much. Like, girl, sit down.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously both have a different opinion on it to an extent because it was extra, but I loved it. Because at first I didn't love it because I was like, she's gonna fuck up and it's live TV. She's gonna fuck up somewhere, and she didn't. Like it kind of started off a little bit slow and it kept going and going and going, and she wasn't like messing up anywhere. And I was like, that's pretty impressive. I mean, to be fair, like Julie has stuttered a few times and she hasn't even been rapping and it's live TV. And for Brittany to do that on live TV, no edit, just winging it, I can't do that. I would not be able to rap on live TV and say that I would do good. That would mess up. So I think that she doing
But
that.
every time that I saw her on the live feeds this previous week, she was practicing. And I get it. You have to practice. I get
Right.
it.
Even on the episode, they brought up a few times that she was practicing. It was a little like it was annoying. It was just like, you're not that good, girl. Even Xavier was like, no, she shouldn't release an album or whatever, joking about it. And I was like, yeah, she shouldn't. Like, it's not that good. It's just like silly stuff, you know. But on the speech, it was good. I thought it was good. I mean, practice or not, that I liked it. I don't know if she's gonna do it every single time, but
you gave her points, and I feel like in my end she took points from me because I was like, ugh, this is just too extra.
yeah. Okay, so then that happens, and then we move on to the eviction, right? Obviously.
Right, and it was what we predicted. The only one that ended up voting Brittany was Derek F, which we kind of figured.
Yeah.
He has this weird crush on Frenchie that he had to give him a vote.
Yeah, but even after the elimination, though, like I mean, French did talk about how him and Derek were solid the whole time, and how they're going to be remaining friends, and how it was so unexpected because there's like so different people, and so I mean, maybe they just really had a good friendship that we maybe didn't really see. You know what I mean? Like it might have just been like Derek and French both felt solid with each other, and that's fair. I mean, at least they made a good friendship from it, but it is what it is. It obviously wasn't the strongest friendship there because now Frenchie's gone. So
right.
For whatever it is, I don't know. I think that they're I mean, Derek is gonna struggle a little bit, I think, because he was confiding in Frenchie a lot, and now he doesn't have his like ride or die or whatever he called it, you know.
Yeah, right.
So.
Well, as we know, Frenchie gets evicted.
Right.
We then go into an HOH comp, which is the classic truth or dare type comps.
Right.
Where you get asked, there was a video played and they had to memorize the video question got asked.
You mean true or false, right?
What did I say?
Truth or dare.
Oh, yeah, true or false.
True or false, yeah.
Yeah. So video was played. They got to watch this video for about like 30 seconds, if that.
Right.
And then
they got questions about it.
I mean, it was a normal comp. There was nothing special to it.
Right.
I was more excited because I had predicted for Brett to win HOH, but then I heard after his targets and stuff like that, I was like, I really don't want him to win. So as soon as he got the wrong answer, which was right at the beginning, one of the very first few rounds, he was kicked off.
I really wanted.
I'm not gonna say I didn't pay attention to it, but
right. That's the only thing that you were waiting for, just for Brent to kind of lose.
Right. I kind of wanted Sarah Beth to do semi well, and she was.
Yeah.
She made it all the way to the end. She got it wrong at the very end, but I was mainly more worried about Brett and getting HOH. So as soon as I saw that Brett was not HOH, I kind of went with the flow. I was like, okay, whoever wins
Yeah.
here wins.
True.
We ended up seeing
I really, 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 really wanted Alyssa to win. Like I just wanted her to win. I was like, come on, Alyssa, win. You got this, girl, you got this. And she was getting close, but yeah, she didn't.
You and your obsession with Alyssa, like.
I know. Who would have known? I wasn't even thinking about, like, I seriously was already cutting her out from like the first time I saw her little bio and her entrance to the house, and now I'm like, she's like, yeah, up there. Like she's definitely a contender for win now.
Right. Well, she's not there on my list yet, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Like we said, Xavier ends up winning HOH. The episode ends with their celebration of his HOH.
Yep.
So now we wait until Sunday.
Yep. And as we see the feeds, and even if we see the feeds, we won't be able to really talk about it like on video until Sunday after the episode.
Yeah.
But so I guess we'll just do predictions really quick of nominations, and then you just want to run down the list of our rankings just to see if it changed a little bit. I think if anything, you just mentioned the ones that maybe have changed, and then that's it. Because I mean, we really don't need to go through all of them again and why they're on that ranking. It's more so like which ones changed and why. Because only a few of mine changed, not that many.
Right. So predictions for next week, I had already given. I mean, predictions for nominations.
Right.
I already predicted Brett and Whitney.
Right.
Yep.
So for me, the same. I mean, I'm gonna say it's not like a formal thing, right? But I am gonna predict at least 3 of them, which I'm gonna say it's Brent, Whitney, or Brittany. My gut tells me Brittany's gonna go up there just as like a pawn, and then potentially do like a backdoor. I think it's gonna be Whitney and Brittany, and then potentially backdoor Brent. But I don't know. I really don't know how Xavier played. So could be wrong, could be not wrong. We'll find out, I guess.
So on my list, I only switched one person. Actually, one person I bumped him kind of down. I bumped Brett down,
of course,
to my 9th place, just because he was targeting Sarah Beth. It's a personal move.
Right.
It scares me what he might do in the future. So yeah, he went from he got knocked down a little bit, but that's the only one.
Okay. Mine kind of moved a little bit, like all over the place, except for like the top 4. But I mean, like I'm not gonna go to like a whole explanation because some of them really either moved up or down because I moved some other ones drastically, if that makes any sense. So for example, like my last one right now is Hannah, just because I'm not seeing anything from her. I'm bored. I don't have anything that I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen with her? Don't know. And then I have Christian right above her. I just moved him up a little bit just because I feel like he's a little bit more entertaining than she is at this point, and that's the only reason why. Brittany is up. Brittany moved up a little bit because of the rapping. I think that kind of saved her a little bit. She get a little bit of points. Tiffany is after that, and then Claire, pretty standard. No change of opinions. I think if anything, they moved down a little bit because of Xavier and Azal. Just because Xavier won HOH, proved himself. Azal, I'm still giving her the benefit of the doubt. The one that moved up a little bit more, I think this is where kind of like where it changed a little bit, was Derek F. Because now that Derek F doesn't have Frenchie, I think he's going to start to blossom in his own person. I think that he unfortunately was under Frenchie's shadow this first 2 weeks. And now that Frenchie's gone, I think Derek F is really going to move up and he's really going to show who he really is as a player. So I think that's why I moved him up so much, because he was kind of like at the way bottom for me.
He's going to stay at the bottom now, because now he's going to be fake and now he's going to want all these different things to happen.
But that's good. That's part of the game though. Like I think so far he was leeching off of Frenchie the whole time, that he couldn't really be himself. And now that Frenchie's gone, I think that's going to help him a little bit, because now he's forced to really be himself, like, and say like, I'm here, because so far he was just kind of behind Frenchie, being honest. And like now that Frenchie's not there, like I said, Derek is going to have to prove himself, and I think that gives him points because who knows what's going to happen. I mean, he can change and go all the way back to the rankings again by next episode, but as of right now, I think that he has the potential to really prove himself. The next one after that was Brent. Brent, I think, was 5 on my last one. Today he went down 1 because Derek X moved up. I think Derek X really proved himself again, just in general, just the way he is. You know, he solidified himself with Kylan. Like Kylan, by saying that, it really just puts them in like a strong duo, and that just brings up Derek because they're both strong competitors. I think Kylan, if anything, has a more of a social angle to it, and then Derek X has more of a comp angle to it, and I think that makes them like a really, really strong duo. And then the last 4, they're pretty much the same. The only thing is that I switched Alyssa and Whitney. So Alyssa's now on my 4th, and then Alyssa's on my 3rd. So Alyssa moved up to 3 instead of 4. Just because I've seen Alyssa more, and Whitney's been kind of like coasting a little bit now. So Alyssa moved up a little bit, and then Sarah Beth stayed the same, and then Kylan stayed the same. So a little bit of movement, but yeah. So
my list didn't change. We have a few more episodes for it to change drastically, but
right, yep. So
but
okay, cool.
Before we sign off, we've never done this before. At least I have never done this before, but I kind of want to do it. If you have been watching our videos and you've been following our videos, do us a favor, comment on this video.
For sure.
Give us some new suggestions, anything that you want us to answer, any comments, any opinions that you may have. We would love to read what you think.
For sure.
Also subscribe to the page, that way you get updated videos. We do it every time after each episode. And if you're coming from Facebook, make sure that you have liked our page. Anybody can join. Just our following is really important to us. So if you could just help us out with that, that'd be great.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better. Alrighty. So then I guess we'll be back on Sunday, and then we'll see if our predictions came true, and then we'll see if our rankings have changed.
All right. Now I'm ready for that. So till next time.